Made possible through support from ARC Thrift Stores, the ARC of Aurora, Developmental Pathways, and PASCO, Personal Assistance Services of Colorado. THINK+change talks. People with disabilities who live in the U.S. are 2.5 times as likely to be victims of violent crimes as those without disabilities, and 3 times as likely to be targets of rape, robbery, or aggravated assault. Victimization and people with disabilities, it's real. A series of different perspectives. Financial exploitation.
I'm Helen, caregiver for my mom who had severe disabilities, and my family and I were victims of financial exploitation. They weren't supposed to put that wall in, and that I paid for it. It's all right here. We had a private entry for her, a handicap ramp. The bathroom had to be built for her, just, for a wheelchair. And it took several months, but I rebuilt a room for my mom and was attached to my house. And I went to Housing Authority to apply for a loan. And they had a loan, for $25,000 that I qualified for because of my income, because of my mother's disabilities. So we built a place and we moved her in. Qualified for what they called an exception loan, and it was described to me that I would pay a 3% simple interest at the end of the loan. As a matter of fact, the day of the closing, he said it will be $750 in interest when you pay off the loan, and I wouldn't have to, because it was a deferred loan. The only time I would have to pay it back is if I sold the house or I didn't live there anymore. So 15 years fast forward, my family and I decided that we want to move in together. I called the Housing Authority and I asked her, how do I repay the $25,000 loan? She said, $25,000, it's $36,000. And I said, and I wasn't being rude, I was just like, do you know who I'm talking, or who you're talking to? Because I thought maybe she had the wrong person. And she said, you have been accruing interest for 15 years and you haven't made any payments, and that is your interest. And I said, no, that's wrong, because I shouldn't have to pay anything until I sell the house or whatever, and I'm just trying to figure that out, From there, I went to different agencies and I tried to get help. It scared me, and my dream of moving, first of all, was taken away, but second, I didn't know how I was going to pay that. They could take my home away, and that's not their purpose. Their purpose is to have sustainable housing, and they don't tell you that. They don't talk to you about well, if you don't pay this accruing interest. I think if we weren't strong enough to push through and persevere, it could have gone a really bad way. I could have been homeless, my family could have been homeless. And I would have never known, because they never sent me any statements. And then to have them be cruel, to me, they were cruel to me, the way they treated me and my family. I had a lot of stress in my life. I was worried about my mom and her health and my children and working, and how am I going to get food on the table? The people that are supposed to be helping you throw you back into another trauma. I've got post-traumatic stress disorder. They weren't honest about it. They're not honest on their website. To this day, they are not honest about what's going to happen. I feel like I was kind of tricked.
Predatory lending, that's what we call it. If you're lending money to someone, or if you're someone that's looking for a loan and the terms and the conditions are just too good to be true, it's too good to be true. They know you're desperate, so they exploit that and they take advantage of people. My name is Yvonne, and I have worked for the banking and financial industry for 34 years. I've done everything from tellering to new accounts, management, ATMs, debit cards, and I was also in security. So I've been throughout the entire gamut of the banking industry, so I see a lot of what the customers are going through, what the bank has gone through, and what we have to do to protect people from financial exploitation. You really need to shop around. You know, if this was such a great deal, let me check this bank. We need to check this out because we don't think that this is proper. We don't have loans that you don't have paperwork that you take home with you. We don't give loans to people and say pay it back when you want to. We spend a lot of time training and talking to our staff because it's very important for them to be able to identify, and sometimes it's very difficult to identify if someone's being exploited. You see them every day, you see them with this caregiver, and you think everything is okay. Sometimes it's not, and it's hard to separate and look at it as, you know, what is really going on here? Are the characteristics that they're normally expressing the same? Do they feel stressed? Are they taking out money that they usually don't do? Are they doing activities that's beyond their cognizant and abilities to be able to do? Those kind of things that we look at, and it's sometimes difficult to get them away from their caregivers to talk to them or ask them questions to see if there's anything going on. It's every day. It's every day, and it's not maybe people all with IDD. I see elder abuse, and it's not just people coming in with them, telling them to take extra money out. It's through the internet, it's through emails being hacked, it's through letters being sent saying, you know, you just won the lottery, all you have to do is go to your bank and take out $2,000 in Western Union to us, and they're like, oh, this is my dream. But anytime that you coerce or intimidate or harass or just make someone feel uncomfortable you feel that you need to give me money. Why aren't you giving me money? I'm going to go to the store for you. Why don't you buy me a pack of cigarettes? You know, that's the least you can do. That's exploitation because they're feeling that, oh, I guess I should give them something because they are helping me when they should just be helping them because they want to help them, not because they're entitled to anything. We just have to make sure that we're watching each other and we're watching our family, our friends, our community, and speak up. Don't just walk away and say, well, that's not my problem. Because, you know, it could be your loved one someday that could be exploited, and we need to make sure that we protect people with disabilities, all walks of life.
For more information or to find support if you are a victim with a disability, contact the ARC's National Center on Criminal Justice and Disability, www.thearc.org/NCCJD or 800-433-5255. THINK+change. Talks, trainings, and tools to help in your work for or with people with intellectual and other developmental disabilities. Learn more at www.thinkchange.training.